So I'm going to talk to you about how to feed your pet correctly. There's lots and lots of different diets available. You can get them from the supermarket, the pet shops, the vets, and there's different qualities out there, and it's obviously really important to get a good quality pet food to make your cat healthy and happy. It's probably best to speak to your vet for advice about what's the right diet for your pet. With so many out there, it's difficult to go through each one here, but your vet can give you some really good advice about the right diet for your pet. It's important to think about the age that your animal is. Does it need a growth diet, or is it an older cat that needs perhaps a senior diet? There are different diets for different activity levels of pet as well. So, have a think about all the different ones that are out there. There are also some pets that need prescription diets if they've got any health problems, such as kidney disease. That's a really common one that we'll use prescription diets for. So, again, speak to your vet about that. The biggest thing that's important is to feed the right amount of food to your pet. And there are lots of different feeding guides out there, and they vary for different foods. But it's important to try and feed the right amount so that your pet doesn't become too thin or worse still, overweight. There are lots of easy ways to tell if your pet is overweight. So if you have a look at the shape of your pet, what you want to be able to do is to run your hands over them and see how you can feel the ribs across the rib cage here. And you should, as you run your hands down the side here, just be able to feel the rib cage really easily, just with gentle pressure through the skin there. If it's difficult to feel the ribs, if you have to press quite firmly to be able to feel those little bony lumps across the chest wall, then you've got a little bit too much fat underneath the skin. Your pet may be overweight. And the other thing to have a look at is the waistline. Viewed from the side, the waistline should tuck up a little bit as it comes back towards the back legs. And there shouldn't be a big area of fat hanging down underneath the abdomen here. Sometimes there'll be quite a paunch of fat. Ollie has probably just got a little bit too much fat underneath here. You can see there's sort of a slightly saggy area underneath here, so he's probably carrying a little bit too much weight here. And when viewed from above, the cat should have a nice waist, so they should dip in as they come across to the back of the area here, rather than being straight or bulging out. And the abdomen shouldn't be too bloated across the front, just behind the rib cage here. If your pet is overweight, then there are lots of diets out there that can help to reduce their weight. So again, talk to your vet for advice about diets that can help to thin your pet down. Finally, with all animals, it's a good idea, if you can, to try and include some dry food in the diet, because that's really good exercise for their teeth. The crunching at the dry biscuits can help to remove some of the plaque that can build up on their teeth. Try and include about 50% or more of dry food within the diet, and don't mix it in with the wet food, because otherwise the moistness from the wet food will soften the dry food and you lose the benefit. So give a separate meal of the dry food. And it's obviously important, if you are feeding dry food, to make sure that there's plenty of fresh water available for your pet to drink, because they'll need to drink more if they're eating a dry diet. And remember that cats don't like to have their water and their food next to each other. They'll drink significantly less water if the water bowl is next to their food. So make sure the water bowl is in a position away from the food itself.